Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Beck. I'm converting my Peugeot partner into a micro camper. In today's video, I'm going to be finishing up a load of random and misc jobs that we need to get done before heading on our 2-week road trip around the Outer Hebrides. Now I'm going to warn you, a lot of these solutions are very DIY and pretty amateur. To tell the truth, we've run out of both time and money, so we probably will have to come back and fix these properly, but for now, this is going to have to do. So the first thing we had to do was we noticed that water was pooling in the back door and we didn't know where it was coming from. So first of all, we had to get all of that water out. Then we had to work out where it was coming from. And we noticed these holes behind the number plate. There were several of them, so I don't know if they'd been used for a previous number plate or what, but we covered them using the aluminium tape, and then we went in and used the sealant all around the lights, above the number plate, and any screws or screw holes. And this seems to have worked really well because, touch wood, we haven't had any more water pooling inside the door. Now the next thing we had to do was sort out the back panels on the back doors of the van. So these panels I'd taken off of the van because you can see that one that I'm drawing around had ripped, and I intended to make a nice smart wooden cover, but we just ran out of time. So here I'm just tracing those covers that came with the van onto a piece of mount board. So I picked this up from the range for $2.99, and I thought it would be a really brilliant temporary fix for this because it's thick enough that it will hold, but it's still very budget friendly. So first I'm just using a craft knife here to cut out the shape. Again, I kept those broken ones because I knew that I'd be able to trace around them really easily. And I also kept all of the clips that came with it, so I'm using the same clips to attach it to the van. So I cut out all the holes. This is where the clips are going to go, which are going to attach it to the van. I ended up just using the scissors after this because it was a bit tricky with the craft knife. And then it was time to attach it to the van. So these clips are a bit tricky, they're reusable, so you can clip them onto the van. And I just attached it to the van, so you can see the shape came out really well. I was actually really impressed with this. Bearing in mind it cost me less than £3 to do both of these back panels. It's just to protect those kind of electrical cables that are behind the panel because this is the end of the bed where our heads will be, so I didn't want us in our sleep like knocking any of the cables. And that was a really good fix. The next thing we wanted to do was stabilise the bed a little bit more, and we did this by using small metal corner braces across the bottoms of the bed frame. So we just used the 12mm screws that we had left over from previous jobs, and we just screwed these into all of the 3 main frames in the middle, and this just makes it feel a little bit more secure. You can see closer up here what I'm doing, where I'm just screwing it into both sides. I used the drill, it was a bit tricky to get in those corners, but then you can use a manual screwdriver as well, just to kind of really tighten it up. And this seems to have made a big difference even though it's a small thing. Next, we needed to seal the edges of the floor, so I just used the same Sikaflex sealant that I've used throughout, and I just put a little bit all along the edges of the floor where the floor met either the wall or the carpet or the wheel arch here. I put a bead of silicone all around that, and then Wynne just went along with a wet finger and just smoothed it all out, and it actually looks really neat. This will just stop any liquids hopefully getting under the floor if we do spill anything. Okay, this is the most rogue one, so you've really got to stick with me here. Basically, when the bed is pulled out, we don't have full length along the whole width of the bed, so I will be sleeping at a diagonal. And I noticed with the height of the bed that it was really likely I was going to bang my ankle on this like sharp metal edge of the bulkhead. Now, so what I decided to do to temporarily fix that is just wrap it in bubble wrap. Now again, this is probably the most DIY amateur fix of all of them, but it's actually turned out great. This is just using a bit of bubble wrap that we got from Poundland and then going over the top with the Gorilla Tape. Now, I didn't need to use as much Gorilla Tape as I did, but I just thought it would make it blend in more if it was the same colour as the bulkhead, and it did make it feel a bit smoother. And this just, you know, I still might bang my ankle in my sleep, but it's not going to be as harsh as a sharp metal edge. So that's it for all of the jobs. We're officially ready for Scotland. Make sure you stay tuned to watch all about our road trip.